Class 11 Political Theory, Chapter 5 Rights. Rights are those conditions of social life without which no man can seek to be himself at his best. They are claims that are necessary for leading a life with respect and dignity, but they are those justified claims which are sanctioned by law. Now, why are rights important, or what is the necessity of having rights in society? Rights are essential for the proper development of the human personality. Coming to the sources of rights, or how do the rights originate? In the 17th and the 18th century, the philosophers believed in the theory of the natural rights. According to this theory, we are born with certain rights, and they are those inalienable rights that no one can take away from us. According to the theory of natural rights, the rights are given to us by nature or God. They are inalienable, which means that no one can take away these rights from us. According to this theory, the rights are not the gifts from government, they have been given to us by God. According to the theory of natural rights, there are three basic rights. First is right to life, second is right to liberty, and the third is right to property. In the modern times, we do not believe in the theory of natural rights. In the modern times, it is believed that all persons deserve certain things because they are human beings. So, in the modern times, the stress is more on human rights. All human beings are equal, and no one is born to serve the others. In the modern times, a lot of stress is being laid on human rights, and even the list of human rights has expanded. Now, human rights include the right to clean air and clean drinking water. Then, sustainable development, we have the SDG goals. SDG have been given by the UN to all the countries to enable development to take place in such a way that we do not contaminate the environment and also leave enough for the future generations. Human rights also include the right of women, the right of the older people, children and sick people, even the rights of war victims, and the right to adequate livelihood. Coming on to legal rights in the states, the rights should be supported and protected by the government as well as the law of the country. Continuing with legal rights in the state, the society should protect the efforts of the government to protect the rights of the various categories of the people in a country. Now, after understanding what are rights, let us see what are the different kinds of rights. In the chapter of equality, we had done the three types of equality: political, social, and economic. Similarly, the three important rights that are available to the citizens of a country are political, social, and economic rights. Now, the political rights include right to vote, right to contest elections, and right to form political parties and also to hold public offices. In India, we have the concept of rule of law, which means that all the people are equal in the eyes of the law. uh, from the prime minister to an ordinary person in the country to an ordinary farmer in the country are all subjected to the same kind of rules and regulations. Now, coming on to civil rights, there are those rights that are enjoyed by the civilian population. They're the rights enjoyed by the citizens of a country, and these include the right to free and fair trial. If a citizen is arrested and if a case is initiated against him, then that case should be followed in a free and fair way. Then the citizens also have the right to freedom of expression. They can express themselves freely, and also the right to protest. If the people are not satisfied with a law made in the country, if they're not satisfied with the way the government is working, if they're unhappy or unpleased by any action of the legislature or the executive, they can go to a court of law. So these are the civil rights that every citizen of the country enjoys. Some of the economic rights that are available to a citizen include the right to have the basic necessities of life, that is, food, clothing, and shelter, healthcare, even the right to work, as well as the right to adequate livelihood, equal pay for equal work are all economic rights that are enjoyed by the citizen of a country. Cultural rights include the right to have primary education in their own mother tongue. That is, at least at the primary level, they can get education in their own mother tongue and need not learn any other language. The subjects in the schools may be in the mother tongue. The right to protect their culture. Every minority community has the right to protect their own culture, has the right to set up their own religious institutions, their own education institutions, and this is done so that even the minority communities, they feel protected and looked after. Coming on to the concept of rights and responsibilities, the rights and duties go hand in hand. Rights are not only the privileges that the state is giving to us or the privileges that we enjoy, they are also certain obligations placed on us. Now, for example, if it is our right to vote, then it is also our responsibility to vote for the right kind of people. If the government is giving us the use of public facilities as rights, then it is also our duty to pay our taxes on time and to use these public facilities properly. We should not cause any damage to the public property. So rights and responsibilities, rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. And when we are getting a right, when we are enjoying a right, it is also our responsibility to be careful while we are exercising our rights. Rights and responsibilities go hand in hand. When we talk in terms of enjoying certain rights, we also need to perform certain duties towards the state, or we also have certain responsibilities towards the state. Now, when we are talking about the environmental degradation or the degradation caused to the environment, and we talk in terms of protecting the environment, we talk in terms of afforestation, that is growing more and more trees. We also talk about minimizing pollution. Now, all these are important because each one of us has an important role to play in minimizing environmental degradation. If we are working now to protect the environment, that is not only for our own selfish interest, but it is also for the common good. Next is to respect the rights of others. Just as my right is important for me, the right of the others is also important for them. My rights are limited by the principle of equal and same rights for all. I value my freedom, I value my rights. That means I have to respect the rights of others because those rights and freedom are also very important to them. Thirdly, we must balance our rights when they come into conflict. We should know to what limit we should be exercising our rights. For example, if we have the right to take pictures, we have the right to click pictures, but that does not give us the right to go into anybody's house and go to the private parts of their house and take their pictures. That is not allowed. We should know what our limitations are. We have the right to put on music to enjoy ourselves. Suppose there is some function in my family, I can put on music and I can put blaring music, but that is going to come in conflict with the others around me who may be sick in their homes, who may be maybe there has been some death in the family or an exam next day. So we should know how to balance our right, because my right of enjoying myself by putting on music, blaring music, is coming in conflict with the rights of the others to have some privacy or some place to themselves. So here, when my right is coming in conflict with the rights of the others, we have to strike a balance. Lastly, we should be vigilant about the limitations or restrictions on our rights. The meaning of vigilant means we should be aware. We should know to what extent and for what reasons our rights are being curtailed or limited or not being given to us. We have to sacrifice something for others are currently debated. That means these days it is being questioned at many places concerns the increased restrictions which many governments are imposing on the civil liberties of citizens on the grounds of national security. Protecting the national security may be defended as necessary for safeguarding the rights and well-being of the citizens, but at what point could the restrictions imposed as necessary for security themselves become a threat to the rights of the people? It should not be the case that in order to protect the national security, the rights of the people are not given to them. 10th December every year is celebrated as the International Human Rights Day because in 1948 the UN General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.